If you want to get promoted to director or VP, there's one major thing you've got to stop doing. And the reason this matters is because this is the exact behavior that kept me stuck on my career journey from administrative assistant to SVP and head of HR. And it's precisely the behavior that hundreds of leaders that I have coached had to address before they were seen as ready now for executive roles. These clients of mine are smart and they're capable and they're working their tails off, thinking they're doing what they're supposed to do, and it's working against them because no one has given them the feedback. Partially because a lot of managers are inherently terrible about giving constructive feedback, and partially because this shift is nuanced and part of that X factor that no one seems to be able to put their finger on and articulate, and that's where I come in. Simply put, you need to stop over functioning. So what does this mean? This means you've got to stop committing to an immediate turnaround for every ask, regardless of who it's from. You have to stop taking on work that isn't yours. And usually you're taking it on because you know you can do it better and faster. You've got to stop saying yes before thinking strategically about the political value of the work. And this usually comes from a good place. You're very conscientious. You know that you want to be helpful. You want to prove that you're capable. And this is the exact behavior that got you to where you are today. But you also know deep down that what got you here will not get you to the executive ranks. At the senior level, helpful and promotable are not the same thing. Let me tell you how this looks from the other side of the table. I've sat in hundreds of promotion discussions behind closed doors, and I can guarantee you, leaders are not asking who's doing the most work. They're asking who's thinking at the next level, who's exercising judgment, who can be trusted without being in the weeds, who creates clarity instead of absorbing and perpetuating chaos. When someone is consistently over-functioning, the unspoken signal is they're great at execution, but they're still operating like a doer. And that's the key distinction. Directors and VPs are not promoted because they do more. They're promoted because they decide better. And here's what over-functioning is quietly costing you. You maybe have become indispensable in your current role. They can't afford to lose you from that role. You've inadvertently trained people to come to you for everything. You look really busy, but you're not showing strategic value. You're reinforcing the idea that you're needed here. And this can stall careers for years because you're solving the wrong problem at the wrong altitude. So what do you do instead? I'm all about practical advice. The shift is this: stop asking, how can I help? And start asking, where should I be spending my energy? So that means pausing before saying yes. It means setting appropriate expectations depending on the value and the urgency of the work. There may be work that you commit to an end of day turnaround for, and other work that can be addressed by midweek or next week or next month. You need to start setting expectations thoughtfully so that you preserve your own time and your own energy for the work that really matters. Let other people struggle appropriately. This is not cruel. This is part of leadership. Let people learn through doing. Be there to mentor and guide them, but don't take control of work that is an appropriate learning opportunity for someone else. Think about trade-offs. You only have so many hours in a day. And if you commit to everything, you're really focused on and addressing nothing. At senior levels, restraint is not laziness, it is actually discernment. Here's a simple, practical change you can make this week. In your next meeting, instead of raising your hand and saying, I can take that on, or I've got it, try this instead. Here are the options and the risk I see, and what I'd recommend is this, ... This does two things. It shows that you're thinking like a decision maker, and it trains leaders to see you as someone who exercises judgment, not just capacity. That's a promotion signal. Or try this. I agree this is really critical work, and since it needs to be addressed immediately, I'd like to suggest that Sarah on my team run point. I'll be able to oversee this, and that way it won't be stalled by my limited capacity. This shows that you're not only a team player, but you're on board with the urgency of the work, and you're realistic about what it will take to gain traction. It also shows that you know how to appropriately leverage your team and delegate. If this feels a little bit uncomfortable, that's a good sign. Most people don't get stuck because they're not good enough. They get stuck because no one ever tells them what to stop doing. If this resonated, I've linked free resources below to help you start repositioning yourself for that next level without working harder or burning out. These resources will give you clarity on where to focus next. And if you want more straight talk about how promotions really work, subscribe to my channel. This is exactly what it's for.